Stephanie, you have seen actually both worlds. You've seen the corporate world and you've also seen the startup world. Given your experiences, what are some of the steps that you think we can take in changing this consumer behavior and actually improving consumer adoption around sustainability?
I think what's really interesting is that unless we're all going to go naked, we are going to consume clothing, right? And other things. Just how we consume it, why we consume it, what it's made of, where it comes from, who it goes to. That's what's changing and innovating in supply chains around the world right now. And that is a huge opportunity for us to build for that supply chain of the future, one that is more on demand, more local, more digital, and more sustainable. When it comes to consumer behavior, we can actually now, at point of purchase, indicate for a consumer making that choice between, a number of items, the amount of water, the toxins, the carbon emissions, and in some cases, the dollars saved by them purchasing one item over another, something that was made sustainably or reused and repurposed. And I think that's really powerful for a consumer to have that transparency and track and trace right up front at their fingertips, quickly and easily, right? With the swipe of a smartphone, they can make those educated choices that they just didn't have before. And what's even more interesting is they can actually track their own progress as a buyer, as a consumer, of how well they're doing, how much water have they saved over this time period by purchasing more sustainably. And they can actually, it can be gamified. They can be rewarded by the brands for their loyalty and for their good actions and get those discounts and coupon codes, right? And so that's where we start to unlock value, of course, for businesses, but also for consumers who are incentivized, who get the economic advantage. With the huge movement we've seen in resale and reuse, you think of ThredUp, The Real, StockX, Poshmark, Depop, right? You actually, as a consumer, can buy a like quality good, but it actually costs you a lot less. Sometimes in our platform, it's up to 90% off wholesale. So you're getting that like quality at a steep discount with a sustainable benefit. And if you think about it as a consumer, how do you say no to that? And I think that's really powerful and important as we build for this future. I heard one person actually compare what we were doing. I was on a panel with ThredUp, one of the founders, a while back. And he said that he thinks about the reuse, recycling, redistribution models that are going on in the world kind of as a competitor of fast fashion. And I never really thought about what Queen of Raw and ThredUp is doing as a competitor to fast fashion, but really it is. And what's interesting about that is you don't actually have to change consumer behavior. You can still change your outfits, change your clothes, be, Instagram worthy or TikTok worthy. Brands can still sell things, but they can do it in a more sustainable way. And again, that's the win-win-win. And I think really unlocks value and a huge opportunity for the future.
But then why are these practices not being adopted? What are some of the biggest barriers that you see, Stephanie, for adoption, and how do we close this action intention gap?
Well, I think not everybody, right, knows right away how to adopt these kinds of technologies, how to actually know the track and trace story and journey of that product, or how to measure impact. That's where partnerships and solutions like ours and other powerful innovators can really drive change. And I think for a long time, a lot of people, especially in this industry, were very hesitant to partner with each other, to integrate with each other, to leverage each other's technology solutions. You kind of want to protect your innovation, right? Dominate in one industry and then grow and scale from there. But I truly believe, and we've kind of incorporated into the DNA of Queen of Raw early on, how important partnerships are and leveraging each other's solutions and integrating. That just helps everyone grow and scale. And to do that, we work with individuals and consumers. We work with other companies from small to large. We even work with government. And we had a partnership with New York City called the New York Circular City Initiative. We joined forces with H&M, Unilever, Cisco, Goldman Sachs, and a host of other companies and organizations, the Ellen MacArthur Foundation. And we actually wrote a white paper showing how many good jobs could be created and how much money could be saved and made by New York City going circular in the coming years. But let me be clear, it isn't just about changing the laws around the world, which are already happening. You think of EPR policies, recycling laws, and whatnot. But you don't want to just slap businesses with millions of dollars in liability in the books. What are the vetted solutions like ours that can actually help businesses offset that coming legal liability and drive value and change? And as we've been talking about, incentivize action and democratize access to these resources for everyone. And I think that's where we need to be thinking about how we work across industries, around the world, with everyone. We actually even have a non-for-profit arm, and we pledge a portion of our proceeds to them, but we also give them an opportunity to sell their goods through our marketplace and open up their community and their economic profit in their world. And I think just thinking differently and building these kinds of cross-industry, cross-sector collaborations and partnerships, that's how we're going to change the world together.
Yeah, what you've just described is like a picture perfect example of collective leadership and working across sectors to achieve a shared vision. And that's, it's wonderful to hear. And it's exactly the type of leadership that we're looking for from our partners in the Sustainability Innovation Challenge, where we have a common goal around circularity, and we bring together partners from startups, academics, corporates, governments, investors, foundations, et cetera, to think, how do we break down all these walls and really work together and really reach out and translate what it's going to take to achieve these shared goals, but translate across all these different sectors, because sometimes we speak a different language, and that can sometimes get in our way. But one of the things you talked about was better information, track and trace, more information to consumers. And I wonder if that's enough. You know, back to the smoking example, like when you buy a pack of cigarettes, you see pictures of really bad things happening, but yet, of course, people are still buying cigarettes. So how do we go beyond just the information to the thing that will kind of bring out the action that will, you know, bring out people's beliefs and you know, desires to take that action?